And then chapter 19 and verse 19. So Elijah departs from there, and he finds Elisha, the son of Shaphat, while he was plowing with 12 pair of oxen. So we see right away Elisha is a very wealthy man. Despite the famine, he's got 12 yoke of oxen. He is a wealthy, well-to-do man. So he finds Elisha, the son of Shaphat, while he was plowing with 12 pair of oxen, and he with the 12th. And Elijah passes over to him, and he throws his mantle at him, or on him. You can just picture this big guy walking up and just wham! You know? And what happens? After he left the oxen and ran after Elijah, so Elisha is struck by this mantle, and he goes running back after Elijah. And he must know what this means, that this is Elijah calling him to be his assistant. And he says, "Please let me kiss my father and my mother, and then I'll follow you." And Elijah just turns to him and says, "Go back again, for what have I done to you?" I understand this gruff guy. You've got a job to do. Go ahead, get it done. And then we see Elisha doesn't just go back to kiss his father and mother and say goodbye. But he returns from following him, takes the pair of oxen and sacrifices them, boils their flesh with the implements of the oxen, with the yoke, and gives it to the people, and they ate. So we see this wealthy man going off to follow Elijah, takes what he has, and he sacrifices it to feed the people. A very, very concerned man. Remember, they've had famine, they've had no rain. The rain has just come back. So we see right away that Elisha, as part of doing the work of God and following Elijah, is very concerned about the people. So I just find that quite interesting, how to teach Elijah, the great man of God, a very task-oriented, powerful man of God, he brings him to Elisha, a very loving, kind, people-oriented person. Now, how about us? Are we trying to be Elijahs in our world, in our relationship with God? Is our relationship built upon doing that work? Is it built upon being responsible? Is it being task-oriented? Is it having the right knowledge, being the guardian of the truth of God? Now, right knowledge is beautiful. And it's good to have knowledge of God. It's not a bad thing. But it will pass away. Here, let's look at 1 Corinthians 13. It's not to say that knowledge is not good. It's just that knowledge does not form the basis, the foundation of our relationship with God. It supplements it. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 9. "For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when perfection comes, the imperfect disappears." And then in verse 13, "But now these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love." So knowledge is good, but knowledge will pass away. What will remain for eternity is love. Knowing about God is not knowing Him. I said last time, it's like turning to your wife and saying, I've researched very diligently, and at the end of all my research and all my learning and memorization, I have come to the conclusion, dear, that I love you. No, that's not love. We must love in order to know God. Why? Because God is love. If our relationship with Him is not built on love, we will not know God. 1 John 4 and verse 8. If we do not love, we are not going to know God, because that is what He is, and why it must form the basis of our relationship. 1 John 4:8, "The one who does not love does not know God, for God is love." So it is with responsibility. It's not that responsibility is a bad thing, but it's not the foundation for our relationship. Think about again in our own lives. If the only relationship we had with our children was that they responsibly did their chores, how sad would that be? That's not the relationship we want with them, like they're taskmasters. We send them off with their list of chores, and then they come back and we say, okay, good job, go to bed. That's not it. That's not what we want with our children. That's not what we want out of life with them. Is that how we treat God? Give me your list of things to do. I don't want to get too close. Don't want to get too intimate. This love thing is kind of tough. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Is that our relationship with God? Is that the relationship we want with our children? They fear us, or they want to get something from us, and it's just, tell me what to do, Dad. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. Don't spend any time with me. Don't watch TV with me. Don't get involved in my life. Just tell me what to do. How sad. Life could be so much more. And life with God can be so much more when it is love that forms our relationship. Service is the outgrowth of our relationship with God. It's not the foundation. So, I don't want to discourage us from serving God and being responsible and being knowledge. Serve God and know the things of God. But above all, give to Him what He has given to us. His love. He has put His love in us so that it may come back to Him. He has given us to drink of that water so we'll never thirst. That comes up as an outflowing stream to flow out to Him and to others. So serve Him. Know Him. But most of all, love Him. For God prefers love to obligation.
The Christian Journey Book and the full-sized, full-quality, complete video series are available for free download at www.spiritualoutreach.com.